The truth about harem relationships, a path back to all love, a word that touches every heart. We all desire connection, warmth, and companionship, but in the search for love, many fall into the trap of harem relationships. The trap that feels sweet at first but eventually leaves the heart empty and the soul restless. The illusion of harem relationships, it begins so innocently. A conversation, a compliment, an exchange of emotions, the heart starts to attach. And before you know it, you're emotionally dependent on someone who is not your halal partner. It feels like love, but is it? Deep down there is always a voice, a whisper from the soul that reminds us something isn't right. Because true love is not found in secrecy and sin. It is found in purity and commitment. The dangers of a harem relationship. It weakens our connection with Allah. Every harem relationship creates a distance not just from family, but from Allah himself. Salah becomes rushed or skipped. Guilt fills the heart, making it harder to turn back to Allah. And when the heart is distant from its creator, it can never truly be at peace. It leads to heartbreak and emotional damage. Many enter harem relationships believing it will lead to marriage. But in most cases, it leads to pain, broken promises, lies, and betrayal, because love without the blessing of Allah rarely lasts. The heart suffers when it attaches to something temporary, forgetting that only Allah's love is eternal. It affects our mental and emotional well-being. A harem relationship creates an emotional rollercoaster: happiness one day, sadness the next, anxiety over texts, jealousy, trust issues. All of this affects mental health. When love is based on desires instead of deen, it brings more stress than serenity. The regret and realization. Then comes the moment of realization. The guilt, the shame, the regret. How did I get here? But know this: if you feel guilty, it means your heart is still alive. And no matter how far you've gone, Allah's mercy is always greater. Allah says in the Quran, "Say, O my servants who have transgressed against themselves by sinning, do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. No matter what mistakes you've made, if you turn back to Allah with sincerity, He will forgive you. He will purify your heart and guide you to something better." So how do we break free? How do we heal from a harem relationship and return to Allah? The path back to Allah. Cut ties for the sake of Allah. Yes, it's hard, but when you leave something harem for the sake of Allah, He replaces it with something far better. If you truly want to heal, you must first walk away from what is pulling you away from Him. Strengthen your connection with Allah. The more you fill your heart with the love of Allah, the less space there is for anything that displeases Him. Focus on your salah, make dua, and ask Allah to replace your sadness with peace. Seek a halal path to love. Marriage in Islam is not just about love. It's about barakah, respect, and commitment. Instead of secret meetings and forbidden love, choose a path that brings honor, peace, and the blessings of Allah. You are in a harem relationship. Ask yourself, is this the love that will bring me closer to Jannah? Is this the relationship that will truly make me happy? If not, then let it go, because when you put your trust in Allah, He will guide you to what is best for you, far greater than anything you can imagine. May Allah guide our hearts, protect us from harm, and bless us with love that is pure and everlasting.